Hi, good evening. I was just putting my kiddos to sleep, and as I was thinking and looking into the ceiling for a while, if you are a parent, you know what I'm talking about. And I was thinking about a recent conversation that I had with a student, and various levels of communication happen with myself and my students. Sometimes I have students who contact me a lot. Sometimes I never hear from students after they take class, and everything kind of in between. And I welcome all of it. I love whenever people stay invested and stay tuned into what they learn in a class. So I was talking to a student, and she was asking me some specific questions about a client. You know, the kind of questions that are like, what should I do if they have this? What should I do if there's that? I'm not going to go into the specifics. But as I was talking to her, I was like, well, have you tried this stroke combined with this stroke? And she was really kind of having a hard time knowing what I was talking about. Now, I realize that I teach these strokes all the time. So, like, my understanding of them is deep and is like, it's nuanced. It's very complex how I know these strokes, their names, and what they're intended for, right? But this is the reason why we have community, right? Because, and like, that's a whole different post and a whole different conversation. But we need each other. We need other massage therapists in our circle so that we can say, hey, I'm not sure why this isn't working or why this hasn't worked for this kind of client, right? We need to be able to have people in our corner that we can kind of have those conversations with. Obviously, professional, all that stuff. But it brings it to a new level whenever I can communicate in a way that's stroke specific. Like all the strokes that possibly could address an adductor would be A, B, C, D, whatever. And we as instructors know that once you leave our classroom, you're going to do whatever you do with them. And so your clientele may need a specific kind of strokes that maybe we teach, but, maybe we teach you things that you don't necessarily need all the time. If you work with a lot of people who have head, neck, shoulder, TMJ stuff, and we also teach you a bunch of lower body stuff, like maybe you don't use all those. You get what I'm saying? But it's really important to know those and keep all the strokes in your availability so that, if you have another client who needs something, you can help, right? Okay, so here's the reason why you may want to review a class. Because it's normal for you to leave class and forget a stroke. It's normal for you to leave and maybe not come back for 6 months and like start doing something weird with your body. Those things are like normal things that happen. So it's really a good idea to review a class. Reviewing a class does not mean that you didn't get something. It doesn't mean that you didn't learn something. It means that you're reviewing the class, and that's it. So as I was putting my kiddo to sleep and staring at the ceiling and thinking about this very conversation I had with a previous student and what I have coming up, I had this idea. So I have a fundamentals class coming up in February and an intermediate class coming up in April. Okay, so if you've taken my fundamentals class, you've taken the beginning steps of it, it would be really wise for you to begin thinking about when you would want to take an intermediate. What would also be really awesome is if you reviewed fundamentals before you took intermediate. Like, that would be really awesome. That would be like the ideal situation, right? So to encourage you to do that, I'm going to offer you guys a special deal, but I'm not going to tell you here. You got to go get on my newsletter to get the deal, okay? And I'll be really honest, I just created this in my head like 20 minutes ago, upstairs, laying in my daughter's bed. So, like, I have no idea when I'm going to send it out. But I will tell you that if you're on my newsletter list, you'll get it. If you're not, go to my website, mwmassagetraining.com. There will be a little pop-up that's like, hey, let's stay connected. Fill that out, and you'll get on my newsletter list. And I will send out this special deal. And actually, I'm thinking, well, never mind. That's details. But that's how you can get this special deal that I just created in my head, okay? But I want you to think about how you could review in February and then take intermediate in April. So that gives you some time to, like, go back to your office and remember and incorporate the strokes that you maybe didn't incorporate, or like create some new buzz about the intermediate class you're going to take in a month or two after that. So if you're interested in this, you can also send me a DM here, like you can comment on it and I can add you to my list. So that's a few extra steps for me. So really, I'd rather you go to my website, but I'll do it. So if you're a previous student of mine, if you've already taken fundamentals, this is an opportunity for you to review. Okay. If you want to just take fundamentals because you haven't taken fundamentals yet, let's do it. Okay. What are you waiting for? 2025 is here almost. So check that out. February fundamentals. I want you to know that I'm always having all kinds of support for my students, both near and far St. Louis. So if you're in St. Louis, like, I've got all these cool things that I offer. I took a little break in November and December because, crazy holidays, but it's all going to be back up and going here in January. So lots of support. If you're concerned or worried or, scared about using your feet, like, trust me, we will get you going, okay? That is what I live for. I live for lots of things, but that's one of the things, okay? I want you to feel super comfortable using your feet. I want you to feel confident, and I want you to feel safe to learn. So go get on my newsletter, because Fundamentals is coming in February, and it'd be really great if you join me. All right. Have a good night.